So we have a dryer that it had water hooked up to it because it has a special cycle for it mists the clothes and then dries them to take out wrinkles and static refresh, I think is what it's called. So I had a concern when we first purchased it, and then over the years I kind of forgot about it. Well, I did forget about it. So the other night I get out of the hot tub. I went into the hot tub and everything was fine. I got out of the hot tub and was walking across the wood floor downstairs and it was wet. So after figuring out what it was coming from, it was coming from the dryer. Now, it is an older dryer, but dryers typically can last a long time. However, when you have water hook up to it, that's now a concern I would have. Because what if it happened when we weren't here? It could have damaged a lot of wood flooring. We could have black mold underneath. It could be bad if you were not around when it started. So I ended up removing the Y connector because you had one hose. One hose was going to the washer and the other hose was going to the dryer. So as soon as I started removing, I removed them and reconnected, but then I had leaks. I had leaks on both of them. Well, the one, then the other one was leaking. And the more I played with them, the more leaks I got. And I think what it is you have a washer in there, a flat washer. And when you first put it on, the washer conforms to the pipe and how it's in there. And then after that, the washer, it's already conformed. It's not smooth anymore. It just doesn't connect well. So, and I couldn't run to the store and grab some more because this was like 1:30 at night by the time this was all happening. It was definitely after midnight. And so what do? I could leave everything turned off, but then we'd have no water because the shutoffs just weren't secure anymore. That's the problem with turn shutoffs. After 20 years, they don't necessarily aren't going to be solid. So I ended up thinking about it and deciding to remove all the connectors, even here where it goes into the plastic pipe, which I'm not thrilled with the plastic anymore. But so what I did was I decided I'm going to remove them all, clean them all. I'm going to silicone every connector. And then, leaving the water off, I'm going to go to bed, let the silicone set, and then in the morning when I get up, I'll test it. And that did work. That took care of all the connectors. Now I have to be careful about how far we pull things out because if you pull too much on these hoses, it's going to tend to twist that. But it is, I don't know how hard it would be, but I don't have to pull it out, so I'm not worried about it now. So silicone, I'm a real advocate of it. I actually pulled the washers out, siliconed on both sides of them, and put them back in and snugged things down. So that was very good. The problem was I was still getting a slight leak up in here. Typically you can take this off, wrap some Teflon rope around it, put it back down, and you're good to go. That was not going to work here because the washer underneath there was terrible. It broke apart into little pieces as it was coming out. So I removed all of it, and then I made the only thing I could think of at the time, without going to the store, which, there's another hour. I took a washer like this, and cut it down, used a drill, and just like hand drilled it, just with my hand, because it's rubber, it's not that hard. And I gradually increased the size until I had it at the right size and it was still nice and snug around the shaft. And I first cut this with the tin shears, and then I took it out on the sander and just rolled it until I had it pretty round. And so that would fit in there. And then a little Teflon rope around the bottom, and I was able to snug it down, and it's good and solid now, so no leaking there. So all in all, if you have a washer or a dryer that has water hooked up to it, I guess it's not uncommon after many years of use that the connector where it goes in, that apparatus there, I think it's an intake valve is what it's called, can go bad. Now we've decided we're not going to replace it on this one. This is an older model. We're going to use it as long as we can without the refresh. It does make me wonder though, couldn't they make a dryer where you have a little spot just like you have for the soap, where you put in a quarter cup of water and do your refresh? That way you don't have water always connected to it, because that's always connected. It's always got pressure. And at some point in time, if it gives, you're going to have water damage, and especially if you're not around and you don't notice it right away. Hey, you two. Must be someone's walking by. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on the dryer with water connectors.